How much does a kitchen remodel add to home value? Remodel lots of kitchens and I've gotten a lot of money back from doing it. So let's talk about it right here, right now. We're going to talk about 4 things about adding value to the kitchen and the value of the home. We're going to talk about the inexpensive way and the expensive way, but I want to tell you up front, don't go crazy and spend a lot of money because you don't need to. And let's go through it right here. First and foremost, I'm Paul Maguire. I've remodeled hundreds of homes. I've done lots of kitchens, and I can tell you that most people are very happy with the Granite Expo type of basic cabinets, usually in white or gray, or something modern, maybe like a dark coffee look and a nice light cabinet, okay? You don't need to go crazy on remodeling your kitchen. You don't need $18,000 cabinets when you could get by with $8,000. You don't need to spend $20,000 on countertops when you could get by with $5,000. So let me say that up front, unless you're in a high spec house where, you know, 800,000, a million, $1.2 million, most of your basic cookie cutter homes in America, a basic cabinet that's newer, white, or some of the other colors we mentioned, with a basic granite countertop or cultured marble or some of the other type of available countertops that you may like, quartz for example, is good enough to get the extra value. Now, how much extra value can you get for a kitchen? I gotta tell you, I just did a house that needed a kitchen and I paid $435 for the house. I put a new kitchen in it and I did some crown molding and some paint. The bathrooms were already remodeled and I sold it for $570. So I'm gonna say if you spend, you know, that kitchen cost me around $12,000, $15,000 my cost, okay? So the $15,000 probably got me an extra at least $10,000 or $15,000 more in value just by doing the kitchen. So it does return, you know, anywhere from 1/3 of what you spend to as much as 100% of what you spend. It depends on what state you're in and where you are and what you do. But I would say for most of you, you know, some tile floor or some nice laminate floor with some white cabinets and some quartz or granite countertops that blend and look good with some nice paint, and I like to do the little bit of crown along the top of the cabinets with some stainless steel appliances, which again, I'm paying maybe $500, $600 for, you know, gas or electric stainless steel. Stainless steel refrigerators, maybe $1,000, and the microwave stainless steel, $200, $300. I try to get the same brand, so maybe Frigidaire, or LG, etc. Important to note that when you do your remodel on your kitchen, if you're gonna gut the entire kitchen, it's a good time to upgrade the electrical. A lot of these older homes do not have grounds for 3-prong plugs, or they do not have GFIs. So you wanna put the GFIs in, you wanna put the grounds in for the plugs, update the electrical so they can hold the power from all the modern appliances in the kitchen. The other thing is, believe it or not, even though there's a lot of talk about gas stoves, getting rid of them, most people like gas stoves because they're quick. So you could put a nice vent in the kitchen, make sure it vents the outside for gas stoves, and you have, you know, a nice look to the kitchen. Stainless steel sink, either double or a big single one. Undermounted is usually better. On your cabinets, your floor, your paint. I sometimes put crown molding in the kitchen if there's enough room above the cabinet. So say you're at 30 inches on a cabinet, you got a little bit of space above, put crown behind it, or just crown on the top of the cabinets. Those are basic things you could do on your house. And those can add, like I say, 10, 15,000 could add 15, 20, 25,000 to the value of your house, as long as you put everything else together, right? So if you remodel the kitchen, make sure you repaint the house, make sure it's clean, but this is big, okay? The other thing is flooring. If you remodel the kitchen and you put in, say, some laminate flooring or some tile flooring, or even if you're doing an inexpensive one, you put brand new sheet linoleum in there for a lower priced home, don't have ugly old carpet going up against it, because it's just gonna clash, right? So if you're remodeling the kitchen, you're gonna have to upgrade the rest of the house a little bit, at least on the flooring. What I do typically is, if I'm putting laminate or tile in the kitchen, I'll extend it into the dining room, or I'll put it in other areas that are heavily trafficked so that the house flows, right? Sometimes I'll do just the kitchen, the hallway, tile into the bathrooms, and then carpet the bedrooms, right? And then maybe do the main living area in tile so it blends with the kitchen. You see what I mean? So depending on what you do on the property is going to depend on what kind of return you get. Now, I don't particularly care for painting the cabinets white and all that, but it's done a lot. So let's talk about the inexpensive way to remodel your kitchen without ripping out the cabinets and doing the big remodel I just talked about. If you want to sell a home, it's common to paint the cabinets white. They got to be painted right. In other words, they can't not look good. They have to have a nice clean finish on the paint. I recommend you take off the old hardware, which is the hinges and the handles, and replace them with new, either chrome or bronze or some of the other products that are available that flows with the kitchen, okay? I would suggest you put in new counters and then put in a new sink if your counters are tired or old. If you got the old tile and you want to save them, you can get a tile people to come in and repair and steam clean and regrout, and that can make the kitchen look really nice. Unfortunately, you know, if you got, you know, green tile and it's from the 1960s and 70s, no matter how much you clean it, it's not, people don't want that, okay? So it's a lot easier to just rip out that tile, put on a new piece of plywood, and put on some granite or some quartz or something else that goes with the white cabinets. Now, typically the white cabinets, we've used Ubatuba as to granite, put on top. That tends to look good, white and Ubatuba, and a light grayish type tile that we get from Home Depot, or the grayish laminate looks pretty good too. Paint for the kitchen, you can obviously use white. Two colors I use a lot is San Francisco Fog for the gray, or Snip of Tannin for beige. So if you've got cabinets that you want to refinish, say they're a light brown color and you want to just refinish them, you can use Pledge or some of the other products and clean the cabinets up. And a lot of times they can look really good. And then you could just put a new countertop on to blend with those, okay? So if I got browns, I'm going to use Snip of Tannin. If I've got grays or whites, I'm going to use San Francisco Fog to paint. Semi-gloss in the kitchen. If you like this video, subscribe, like, and comment, and I'd be happy to continue to help you with your real estate needs and learning about how to invest in real estate, how to own real estate, how to improve your real estate to get maximum value. The big thing with kitchen remodels, same with bathrooms I talked about earlier today, is that you can get an increase in value on your appraisal for selling or for a refi. Right? So I've seen properties that, you know, maybe they were worth $400,000 as they are right now, but after they were repaired, or ARV, after repaired value, putting a new kitchen in, you know, they're $400,000 today, they're $485,000, they're $500 and a quarter when you put a new kitchen in, right? So that's the thing. I've sold a lot of homes. I've sold 18 of them this year so far. And I can tell you, when people walk in and they see that new kitchen, it pops, okay? When they see the gas stove, they love those, right? Some people say, oh, it's got electric stove. I don't want an electric stove. But it's hit or miss, but I think more people like the gas. And the other thing is that you're gonna get more money, especially if you're competing in, say, houses that are built in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and 80s, and they have nothing updated, right? Remember, a house built in 1980 is, you know, 45 years old, right? 40 years old, 70s, 50 years old. You know, what was good in then is not in now. So if you're gonna upgrade your kitchen, you're gonna add value. I've talked about the easy way, I've talked about the midway and the most expensive way. Now, do not go spend 40, 50, 60, 70 grand, 100 grand to remodel a kitchen. It's not necessary. Unless you're in a house that's, you know, $1.2 million, $1.4 million, $1.8 million high-end house, you shouldn't be spending that kind of money to remodel your house. Most people that are remodeling houses, the average American home should be anywhere from 10 to 20 grand to do everything, maybe 30 tops, okay? So if you're getting these bids for $48,000 to remodel your kitchen, and you're getting white cabinets that you can buy at Granite Expo, and the countertops you can buy at Granite Expo, and you're paying too much money, okay? You're paying too much money. So you're not gonna get your value back from remodeling the kitchen. If you spend $40,000 on a kitchen that should have cost 20, the only person that got the extra value was the contractor who did it. So I'm telling you up front, make sure you get 3 bids and you do things with the right amount of cost so you can get the return on your investment for the cabinets, okay? And by the way, when you go to Granite Expo, if you give them the measurements of the kitchen with the tape measure, they'll lay out a kitchen for you and give you a price on what it would cost you for cabinets. All right, I'm Paul Maguire. I'll see you in the next video where we're gonna talk about more about real estate investing and how to build wealth and create cash flow for financial freedom. Before I move on, please like the video if you're enjoying this information.